There's one thing that I think everybody in this room can benefit from today, and it's this one skill that I've learned that took me from, in 2019, for those of you guys that don't know my story, in 2019, I used to work 14 to 16 hours a day as a caddy, carrying 2 golf bags on my shoulders, which wasn't the worst thing in the world, right? But for me, it was an experience that changed my life. I was making about 150 bucks a day. Okay, I got my real estate license in 2020, as Sam was saying. It was a very easy market. But if you knew how to have this one skill that I'm going to share with you guys today, it was even easier. And this one skill that I'm going to share with you guys today is the skill that no matter how difficult the market gets, no matter who the president is, and no matter what the rates are, can always help you guys continue closing deals. You guys want to know what the one skill is today? Can somebody guess the number one, and it's this exact skill that I'm talking about, that will separate you in any industry, whether you're new or a veteran? If you have this one skill set, you can't answer it because you know the answer. If you have this one skill set, no matter what is going on the outside, you'll always be able to win. Can somebody tell me what it is? Discipline is a very, very good skill set that will get you through life 100%. Persistence, good. This is mindset. This is more of a skill set. Sales, but what within sales will allow you to be the best possible person? Communication, okay? I don't have much time here with you guys today, but I'm gonna share the 3 biggest communication techniques that helped me go from that caddy that was $30,000 in debt to, in less than 24 months, selling tens and tens of millions of dollars worth of residential real estate. And right now I actively train over 3,600 real estate agents around the country on how to close deals in this very, very difficult market. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys 3 tips and I'm gonna break them down as fast and as best as possible. You guys ready? Okay, let's fucking go, baby. Yeah. First thing I'm gonna tell you guys today is, I want you guys to understand that 99% of the people that you come across on the street or that you're gonna try to do a deal with, they're not trained on how to communicate. That 99% of the people, your friends, your family, and the people that you're trying to do a wholesale from or acquire a deal from, or maybe even the developers or the sales reps at these beautiful buildings like Porsche Tower, the 11 residences, you're trying to do a deal with them and get a deal where everybody's getting a benefit, but 99% of the people don't know how to communicate. The first big tip I'm gonna give you guys today, and I would like for you guys to write it down, is reframing. The second thing I'll give you guys today is asking and not telling. I'll break that down here in a second. The third thing I'm gonna share with you guys, and by far is the biggest tip that I've ever, once I understood it to the core and I was able to teach it correctly, changed my life and changed everybody that I teach's life. Do you guys know the 3 levels in which humans make decisions based on who they listen to? Do you guys know who humans listen to first when they're making a decision? Yourself. You'll listen to yourself first. Who will you listen to second? You got it, others. And third? The person trying to persuade you to do whatever it is that you're trying to do. Is it cool if I break these down for you guys real quick? Okay, reframing, number 1. I'm gonna give you guys an example that I'm very familiar with. You guys know what a for sale by owner is? A for sale by owner, a person that thinks, right, that they're gonna be able to put their property on Zillow, and because they're not paying a commission, they think they're gonna be able to make more money. When a for sale by owner tells me, one of the main objections they tell me is like, hey Alexis, look, I don't wanna pay commission, I got it all figured out, I think I can sell the home on my own, I can't afford to spend this much money on commission. That's what they're saying. Can somebody tell me what they mean by that? They don't wanna pay the commission is what they're saying. We have to understand how to read between the lines as salespeople and understand what they mean. What do they mean by that? They don't trust me. They don't trust me. So what I hear at this level of communication that I have is, hey, look, Alexis, I don't trust you. I don't know you. Me and my family are in a hard situation, and I need to make the most amount of money from this sale. We are the ones, the salesperson, right? We are the ones in control of the person that we're speaking to. We're in full control of their thoughts. So when somebody tells me, Alexis, I don't want to pay your commission, or somebody says, I don't want to do the deal with you. Let's keep using the same example for sake, right? Hey, John, so correct me if I'm wrong. From what I'm understanding, it sounds like your main objective when it's all said and done and you do sell the home, you want to be at the closing table and obviously make the most amount of money possible net. Is that right? Is that fair to say? What do you think John's going to say? Yeah, okay, so basically right now, obviously, you listen. You don't want to pay commissions. You don't want to work with an agent. And you just want to position this home in a way where the best possible buyer is going to come through and you end up selling it for the most amount of money. Is that correct? That's called a tie down in sales. What I just did though was get a question that they presented in a very poor negative frame way, because that's how people think. Would you guys agree? In negative ways. And I reframed it in a very positive way that got them to say, yeah, 100% I want to make the most amount of money. But people don't think like that. People don't think like, hey, I'm gonna hire a realtor, a really good one. I'm gonna find that one person, they're gonna put it on the market because they know how to get more exposure, and I'm gonna make more money. People don't think that way. What you guys need to understand is all we are as salespeople, we're here to give clarity. They're saying a bunch of things which we have been taught to categorize them as objections. And the second we get an objection, we want to do what? Overcome it. Instead of listening and saying, look, I think I'm not sure if I'm confused, but from what I'm understanding, it just sounds like at the end of the day, you want to buy the best possible deal here. Is that right? Let's say you're a wholesaler and you want to get a deal and the seller says, I don't want to sell it. I can't, I'm not getting the numbers I want. I can't use an agent. I can't pay any kind of assignment fee because I need to make more money. John, correct me if I'm wrong. From what I'm understanding, it sounds like the main objective here, if you do end up selling the property and you decide that's the best course of action, it sounds like you just want to walk away from this property with the most amount of money in your pocket. Is that fair to say? Yes, of course. That is a reframe. You guys with me so far? Yes? Now, when we have a good product, and I believe every single individual in here, although I don't know you, is an individual of integrity. Yes? And an individual that wants to serve the people that they work with to the best interest. Whether you're an investor, a realtor, commercial, wholesaler. If you're in Mark's office today, I believe that you have integrity and you want to do what's best for people, correct? Here's the issue that I ran into and that my students run into as realtors. Do you guys know that there's more real estate agents than there are houses for sale? You guys know that, right? Here's the thing though, I choose to believe that a lot of realtors on the right teams and in the right brokerages with the right support, they do have the right intention. And if you just give them the opportunity, they'll get the job done in the right way. I do believe that. But what do most salespeople make a mistake of when trying to acquire a new opportunity? In that process, at the phone call, in the presentation, during that process, what do most salespeople do? They sound desperate, they push too much. I think pushing is very important, especially when you have an individual in front of you that needs your help, but pushing in the right way, which is what I'm gonna get to, guys. The second tip I wanna share with you guys is ask, don't tell. And a lot of you guys are like, well, I know that. Of course, I've seen 100,000 Instagram reels saying ask, don't tell, but you still tell. Everybody here still tells. I've had several conversations here today, and most people would just want to tell because they have great things to share. But what did we just talk about earlier? Who do people listen to first? Themselves. So let's give you guys a prime example. Can I give you guys an example? When I go sit down with a for sale by owner, the last thing they want to do is sign a contract with me to sell a house and pay 6% commission. Would you guys agree? The number one thing that allows me to sell a house for more than a for sale by owner or any other agent is what? If I get a property and I tell Mr. Seller, I can sell this property for you and help you net more than you can net yourself. What is the number one thing that's gonna help me do that? For residential. In residential, guys, the way that you price the property will ultimately dictate how much exposure you get, how many showings you get, and how many opportunities you have to leverage an offer. Most for sale by owners, for those of you guys that don't know, they've invested money into their house and they've done upgrades and remodeling and they think their house is worth more. All they want to do if they have real motivation is sell it for the most amount of money. What do most realtors do? And you guys can apply this, by the way, in whatever industry you're in if you want to get something done. Most realtors go in there, they sit down, they put a presentation in front of them of the comparables and they say, hey, look, Mr. Seller, you want to sell for 600. I understand you have a beautiful home, but the two properties in your neighborhood that are comparable to yours sold for 530 and 540. I think you should sell at 540 because if you list it at 600, you're just going to sit on the market and that's not good. That's what most realtors do. That's what most salespeople do. Just use it in your own scenario. That is an example of what? Telling. What I do and what I'd encourage you guys to do, what we teach our realtors to bring a workbook, not a presentation where I show them the marketing or the pictures or the drone work that I'm going to do. Everybody does that. I bring a workbook. It's called a pricing strategy workbook, where I bring all the properties that are active competition, under contract and closed, and all the details within that property. What do you guys think I do at the listing presentation to help the seller tell me what the price should be? I ask a series of questions about all the properties. Hey, Mr. Seller, based on property A here, would you agree that people buy property based on the price, the condition, the size, and the location? I walk them through an exercise, a series of exercises, where they are vocalizing every answer to every question. I don't say anything. I don't tell them I'm with Douglas Elliman or with Lux or that I have sold millions of dollars in real estate or that I'm gonna do A, B, C, or D for them because then I become a what? A commodity. I walk them through a series of questions that they answer and they self-realize. And at the end of that presentation, I say, Mr. Seller, would you agree with me that putting this property as a #1 option in this subdivision is gonna get you the most amount of leads and buyers? Yeah, of course. Would you agree with me that having more buyers walk through the door and having me giving me the opportunity to show them the value of your home, would you agree that's gonna lead to higher offers? Yeah, of course. So if we wanted to accomplish putting this property as a #1 property on the market right now, at what price point do you think we should list that? What do you think they're gonna do if they're motivated? What do you think they're gonna do? Can somebody tell me? They're gonna tell me the price. Now this won't work every single time, but when they tell you the price, they said the price, so they'll believe themselves. And it's, by the way, guys, you guys know what micro commitments are? In a presentation, whether I'm speaking on stage or I'm doing a webinar or I'm on a one-to-one sales call, which is what I do now to try to help realtors grow, you have to get dozens, if not hundreds of micro commitments before you get the major commitment, which is a yes. And you're only gonna do that if you guys learn how to ask the right questions. Can I give you guys a quick secret as well on the side that I wasn't gonna share, but I'll share it? There's 3 main things to how this whole sequence works. The words that you guys choose are infinitely powerful. How you guys choose to deliver those words make the entire difference. And lastly, and most importantly, when you guys position those words in a conversation will help that question or phrase that you're trying to position in front of your prospect have the most power. Some of you guys right here, in whatever business you're in, you guys are trying to find better softwares, better leads or more leads. All you're missing is the ability to choose the right words at the right time and say them in the right tone. That way the person that you're trying to persuade to work with you, their brain can react in the way you want them to react. The third and the most powerful that I've realized so far is what we're just talking about right now. People will always listen to themselves first and they'll listen to you last. Just start practicing, guys. I recommend you guys, a lot of you guys are not realtors, so my program will definitely not make sense for you guys because I am very, very, very specific in what I do and what I teach. In whatever industry you're in, there's just one thing called time in this world. Would you guys agree that time, once it's spent, it doesn't get reproduced, right? Would you guys agree that time is the most valuable asset that we have, not money? If you guys in whatever industry you're in can make an investment into yourself, that someone that has the specific knowledge that you need can teach you how to communicate at a higher level with your prospects, you guys are gonna be infinitely more profitable. Not only that, I used to be this kid, guys, I'm Cuban background, born in Miami, Florida. I could never have a conversation with my mom without it blowing up. I could never do it. I could never have a conversation with her, I could never have a conversation with my grandma. Went through a lot of things as a kid, and I had this trauma where I couldn't communicate with people. The fact that I know how to communicate, not at the highest level ever, I'm always a student of the game, but the fact that I know how to communicate at a higher level than most now has made my entire life easier. Not just because no matter what happens in the market, or what's happening around me, or whatever happens in one certain deal, the outcomes don't affect me anymore because I have the confidence to know that, number one, when I find the next person, I'll know how to say the right things, and if they don't move forward, they don't move forward, there's always the next person. But my relationships, guys, my ability to be a leader and grow people has exponentially grown. For those of you guys that are team leaders or have people under you, the right way to coach somebody off of a sale, let's say you have a salesperson selling for you and they do a bad job, most leaders would do what? Hey, dude, did you see that part where you did this? You shouldn't do that, you should do this instead. Versus, hey, Johnny, what do you think went wrong there? You think maybe you could have done A, B, or C, or what, in your opinion, in your own opinion, what do you think could have gone wrong there? Then guess what Johnny's gonna do? He's gonna brainstorm, well, what did I do wrong? And then he's gonna say it. He's gonna believe you 10 times more. When you guys understand how powerful communication is, every part of your life is gonna get 100 times easier, but we don't prioritize it. We prioritize finding the next shiny object, the next best software that's gonna give us the more leads, but guess what happens? When you get more leads, if you don't know how to talk to them, you're screwed. And the last thing I'll say, guys, is what changed my life from this 23-year-old kid that just had dreams and ambitions. By the way, by the time I was 23, I had already done entrepreneurship for 10 years. I had failed in every single venture. What changed for me was that every day I put on my socks, my shoes, and my clothes, and I walked into a new room, I understood that I was one phone call away, one handshake away, one relationship away, and one deal away from unlocking the rest of my career. So some of you guys right now, I see you guys, some of you guys are like literally basically falling asleep, and you guys, oh, it's just another training, I'm just gonna spend my Sunday and just chill with some people, and some of you guys are super locked in. There's some individuals in this room that I don't maybe personally know them, I might personally know some, I might personally know not many of them, but that have knowledge that you guys can benefit from. If you guys just start acting, and this is what happened with me with the for sale by owners on the calls, I started acting like every single call that I got on was that one call that was gonna change my career, until that one call came and it changed my career. Every speaking opportunity that I get, if it's 15 people or 5,000 people, I treat it exactly the same because that one person's life that I can change could mean the world for me and for that person. So I'd encourage you guys, for the rest of today, pay attention, lock in, get up, stretch if you have to, but the people that are gonna come up on the stage and share knowledge with you guys could be that one little nugget that you guys get that changes absolutely everything.